Good evening and welcome to California Today. I'm David Lam. Let's take a look at today's stories. California updated its statewide guidelines for proof of vaccination requirements to include children. Certain city-owned venues also updated their guidelines to reflect the statewide changes. California school districts are dropping D and F grades for high school students. Some educators see it as lowering the bar, making it offensive and detrimental. Oakland City Council passed a new police hiring plan on Tuesday. It includes 2 more police academies and filling their vacant officer positions. We went to Oakland today to find out what locals had to say. We've seen police reform throughout the nation, and earlier this year, the city of Oakland redirected about $17 million from the police department into violence prevention programs. And it's been a big topic of discussion as there's been a shortage of police officers. Council President Pro Tem Sheng Tao said on Tuesday that they're struggling to hire adequate staff across the board, from delayed 911 responses, lack of crossing guards, and firefighter coverage.
If they're under the threshold of their personnel, then I think they should definitely have, whatever that standard is or whatever that baseline is, they should have that, I guess, to make sure people are safe. But I'm surprised that costs more money to bring people up just to their baseline. I'm surprised, so.
Tao said the solution to violent crime is deeper investments into the community and says that the current vacancies won't be filled by waiting for recruits to finish training by 2023. She wants more investments in housing, healthcare, and childcare to holistically respond to violent crime.
There's lots and lots of issues where we send cops out to deal with an incident and they're not the right tool for it. Social services folks, all kinds of other tools we have at our disposal, we should have at our disposal that should be able to use there. But clearly, we got to have more cops out on the street as well.
I actually work with one of the violence prevention programs in Oakland, and some of the money was never taken away, but some of the officers actually work with our program. So it benefited us, and they were trying to take that money away from actually a program that's supporting Oakland youth.
If everybody come together and do what's right, and parents teach their kids what's right and wrong in the community, that's going to solve the problem.
Tao stated that the police hiring plan doesn't touch their $18 million investment in violence interruption programs. The council plans to work out incentive programs at the December 21st council meeting. Reporting in Oakland, California, David Lam, NTD News. Before the curtains rise or the hockey puck drops this week, Californians will need to check once again for updated COVID-19 policies. The state and certain city-owned venues recently adopted new proof of vaccination rules for children. NTD's Cynthia Kai has the details.
The Chase Center in San Francisco and the SAP Center in San Jose recently announced that children aged 5 to 11 are now required to show proof of vaccination or a negative COVID-19 test within 72 hours. The SAP Center is also requiring 3- and 4-year-olds to show a negative test to enter. The updated rules came on Monday and took effect immediately. Locals expressed their views on the new changes.
I think it's ridiculous. I think adults have the opportunity to be vaccinated, and so they can make those choices for themselves. I think parents should have the right to make the choice for their child. And at this point, everyone 5 and over has the opportunity to be vaccinated. I don't think it should be forced upon a child the family doesn't feel like it's appropriate for their child. So it shouldn't affect a person who feels vaccinated. They should be safe. And so I don't think that a required test for a 3-year-old to go to a Christmas ballet is appropriate.
Others said the mandates are unnecessary.
The vaccine is really untested, and kids that young, we don't know what's going to happen to the kids in the future. It could harm them, and a lot of people don't care in this world about that. They're just pushing these mandates that really don't need to be mandated. It's wrong.
Other venues, such as the San Jose Center for Performing Arts, also updated their requirements to reflect statewide policies. Events held at the theater with over 1,000 people will require proof of vaccination or a negative COVID-19 test within 72 hours. Events with less than 1,000 attendees will only require people aged 12 and up to show proof of vaccination. A negative test will not be accepted. Last Wednesday, the state updated its requirements for mega events. These events are defined as indoor events with 1,000 or more people and outdoor events with 10,000 or more people. People aged 3 and older attending these large events are required to show proof of full vaccination or a negative COVID-19 test. Attendees aged 18 and older must provide identification at mega events. Cynthia Kai, NTD News, California.
Some California school districts are planning to get rid of D and F grades for high school students to make it easier for them to be accepted into state colleges. However, some educators consider the move dishonest and offensive. Here's NTD's Eileen Ang with more.
Some of California's largest school districts are dropping D and F grades for high school students. While the hope is to help students re-engage in school after distance learning and to boost their chances of acceptance into the state's public colleges, some educators find lowering the bar both offensive and detrimental. Unified school districts in San Diego, Los Angeles, Oakland, and Sacramento are several cities that are phasing out grades below a C. Students can retake a test and get more time to turn in assignments if they fail or don't complete them. Those who don't meet expectations by the end of the semester would earn an incomplete. According to an assistant principal at Fremont High in Oakland, they hope school is seen as a place for learning instead of compliance. But California's K-12 schools already show some of the lowest performance in the nation. According to U.S. News and Wallet Hub, California schools rank at most 40th. A teacher and former board member for the Orange Unified School District said parents and students find it offensive. She has helped students work hard in study hall.
Even though, maybe they were discouraged because they were failing, when they did finally get up to that point, there was a great sense of accomplishment. It stretched them as far as their grit and their resilience to get to that place of that goal they wanted to meet, and to remove that goal and that benchmark it would offend kids because it's like, you don't think I'm smart enough?
LEBSEC also foresees consequences for lowering the bar.
Not ever having a consequence for a lack of discipline is just going to incentivize kids to do the least amount that's expected.
In Oakland, high schools are gradually moving towards the new system, giving parents, students, and teachers time to understand and accept the change. No date has been set yet as to when it will be implemented. Eileen Ang, NTD News, California.
Voters may have a chance to increase their minimum wage once again. A millionaire anti-poverty activist is trying to get a new minimum wage law on the state's ballot for 2022.
A Los Angeles-based investor is pushing for $18 minimum wages in California. According to the Los Angeles Times, Joe Sandberg filed the living wage of business leader is financing the effort to gather signatures to get the measure on the next election ballot.
I think that that's going to hurt a lot of small businesses. I think there are a lot of jobs that don't necessarily require $18 an hour. I understand the Valley is an expensive area to live, but I also think about the small business owner, and $18 an hour, what you're going to lose is you're going to lose a lot of full-time employees and only part-time employees because it's just so expensive for a small business owner to keep someone.
Some Californians oppose the raise. The new minimum wage hike may be voted on before the current wage raise is finished. Starting next year, large California businesses must raise their minimum wage to $15 an hour. All other businesses must meet the pay rate by 2023.
I think it's wrong. Raise the minimum wage to $18 an hour for, say, McDonald's or Burger King. They're going to start raising the prices for food. It's just a vicious cycle.
Wakefield points out the problem is not about wages but increasing market prices, which raises cost of living. Several large corporations have recently moved their businesses out of state, including Tesla, Oracle, and Disney. If passed, all California businesses will have to pay employees at least $18 an hour by 2026.
Scott Peterson, who made headlines in 2002 for the murder of his wife Lacey, was resentenced today to life without parole. Peterson was previously sentenced to death. In August 2020, the California Supreme Court ruled that the jury was improperly screened for bias against the death penalty. The death penalty was overturned at that time, but his conviction remained. The prosecution chose to settle for life without parole in the December 8th ruling. Family members called out Peterson for an apparent lack of remorse for his actions. Peterson's previous sentence was handed down in November 2004. A jury convicted him of first-degree murder for the death of Lacey Peterson. He was additionally charged with second-degree murder for the death of his unborn son. And that's all for tonight. Thanks for joining us. You can watch California Today every weekday at 8 p.m. Don't forget to like our videos and subscribe to our channel. I'm David Lamb. We'll see you next time.